Hey everybody! We all love our dogs, right? They're our best friends, our furry companions. But what if I told you there's a chance, just a chance, that your dog might not feel the same way? Don't freak out just yet. We're going to dive deep into the heartbreaking truth. 10 signs your dog doesn't actually love you. Now before you grab the tissues and start questioning everything, this isn't about dog shaming, alright? This is about understanding our furry friends better. Just like us, dogs have their own unique ways of communicating, and sometimes those signals can get lost in translation. So, if you're ready to decode your dog's secret language, and maybe, just maybe, strengthen that bond you share, then hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because you won't want to miss this. Let's get started. Alright, let's talk about eye contact. You know how when you lock eyes with someone it can feel like a real connection? Well, for dogs, it's not always that simple. In the canine world, direct eye contact can actually be perceived as a challenge, even a threat. Think about it. When two dogs are about to throw down, what's the first thing they do? They lock eyes. So if your furry friend avoids your gaze, don't take it personally. It doesn't necessarily mean they don't love you. It could just be their way of saying, "Hey, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed right now." However, if this eye avoidance is a new behavior, it's always a good idea to consult with your veterinarian, just to rule out any underlying medical conditions. We all know those dogs that are basically Velcro pups, right? They follow their humans everywhere, constantly vying for attention. And while it's adorable, it's not always the norm. Some dogs are just more independent, more content to do their own thing. Now, this doesn't automatically mean they don't love you, but if your dog goes from being your shadow to suddenly ignoring you, that's when it's time to raise an eyebrow. Let's be real. We've all been there. You call your dog's name and they just stare at you with that adorable head tilt, like they haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Sometimes it's just a case of selective hearing, right? But if your dog consistently ignores your commands, it could be a sign of a deeper issue. Now, I'm not saying they're deliberately trying to defy you, although, let's be honest, sometimes it feels that way. It's more likely that they haven't been properly trained, or that they're not motivated enough to follow through. Just like us, dogs need a reason to listen. So, if you're not providing clear, consistent training and rewarding good behavior, they might start to tune you out. Chapter 4. The Lone Wolf. Okay, picture this. You come home after a long day, ready to cuddle with your furry friend, but they're nowhere to be found. You search high and low, and finally, you find them curled up in the back of your closet, looking like they'd rather be anywhere else. Sound familiar? While some dogs are naturally more independent and enjoy their alone time, if your usually social butterfly suddenly transforms into a recluse, it's time to investigate. Just like with humans, social withdrawal in dogs can be a sign of stress, anxiety, or even illness. Chapter 5. From zero to growl in 0.5 seconds. Alright, let's talk about a tough one. Aggression. Now, I'm not talking about your playful pup who gets a little too rough during a game of tug-of-war. I'm talking about genuine, teeth-baring, growl-inducing aggression. Whether it's fear, anxiety, territoriality, or even pain, dogs don't typically lash out for no reason. Chapter 6. Where's the wag? Let's face it, one of the most heartwarming sights in the world is a dog's tail wagging furiously when they see their human. It's like their whole body is saying, "You're back, I'm so happy." But what if your dog's tail stays stubbornly still when you walk through the door? Now, before you panic, it's important to remember that not all dogs are created equal, and some are just naturally less expressive than others. However, if your typically tail-wagging enthusiast suddenly stops greeting you with their usual enthusiasm, it could be a sign that something's amiss. Think about it. If you were excited to see someone, wouldn't you show it? Chapter 7. You go this way, I'll go that way. You know how some dogs are basically joined at the hip with their humans? They follow them everywhere from room to room like loyal little shadows. It's adorable, right? But what if your dog couldn't care less about your whereabouts? Now, if your dog has always been more independent and enjoys their alone time, that's perfectly fine. But if your usually clingy companion suddenly starts avoiding you like the plague, it's time to investigate. Chapter 8. Playtime. Nah, I'm good. Let's be real, there's nothing quite like watching your dog go absolutely bonkers for a good game of fetch or tug-of-war. It's pure, unadulterated joy, both for them and for us. But what if your playful pup suddenly turns into a couch potato? Now, it's perfectly normal for dogs to have varying energy levels depending on their age, breed, and overall health. But if your usually energetic companion suddenly loses interest in all forms of play, it's time to dig a little deeper. Chapter 9. The Underwhelming Homecoming. Okay, imagine this. You've been gone all day and you finally walk through the door, expecting to be greeted with ecstatic barks, wagging tails, and maybe even a few happy jumps. But instead you're met with crickets. Your dog barely acknowledges your arrival, and you're left feeling like you just walked into a stranger's house. Now, before you start questioning your entire relationship with your furry friend, it's important to remember that not all dogs are created equal when it comes to expressing excitement. Some breeds are naturally more subdued than others. Chapter 10. The Great Bedtime Divide. Alright, let's talk about bedtime. You know how some dogs are basically professional snuggle monsters? They love nothing more than to curl up in bed with their humans, sharing body heat and sweet dreams. But what if your dog prefers to sleep solo, far away from the warmth and comfort of their human companion? Now, before you start building a separate bedroom for your furry friend, it's important to remember that sleeping habits can vary widely among dogs, just like they do with humans. Some dogs are naturally more independent and prefer their own space, even at night. Outro: decoding the canine code. So there you have it, the 10 signs your dog might not be head over paws for you. But remember, this isn't about freaking out, it's about understanding. Dogs are complex creatures, and just like us, they have their own unique ways of communicating. By paying close attention to their body language and behavior, we can learn to decipher their subtle cues and strengthen that incredible bond we share. If you found this video helpful, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your fellow dog lovers, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content on all things canine. Until next time, keep those tails wagging and those ears scratching.